I want to tell you about my friend, Maddie Kaltenmark. Maddie is a senior at Zionsville High School. She is headed to Miami of Ohio next year. She is a gifted golfer and an avid reader who loves to help people, whether it be a teammate or a fellow youth member. Maddie has been a leader in our youth program for several years now and continues to have that role among us. She is also a wildly talented writer and poet, a wise and deep thinker, and a gentle leader. Maddie, would you join me up here on the chancel steps? It's your fans here. Maddie, we're hoping to be able to lift up the voices of some of our high school seniors this spring as you prepare for graduation and to begin the next chapter of your life. I think it's so important for the congregation to hear your stories. And so I wonder if you'd start by just telling us all some of your second church story, how this place has intersected your life and impacted your faith.
Sure. So my parents joined in 1999 roughly, and then I was born in 2006. So I was baptized here, I went to preschool here, I was confirmed here, and now I help with the youth group. But we always went to church every Sunday. It was a thing we did growing up, and every Sunday I would get bored at one point or another, and I would stare up at the ceiling and just see how vast our church is and how big it is. But now that I've gotten older, it's still pretty big, but it's a little more cozy.
I know that, was it 2 Christmas Eves ago, you were standing in this pulpit and delivered a sermon, and your reflections on how this church, I believe you used the word family, had become family for you, and I thought that was such a powerful image for what we hope a church of any size can be a family of faith. Yeah. I know, and I mentioned that you've been active as a leader among our youth, many of whom are right here in front supporting you this morning. You're wonderful at providing guidance to other students, particularly those who are younger and are beginning their journey through our youth program. And I know you have a special place in your heart for the confirmands and the confirmation process. What do you think the rest of our congregation should know about the youth at Second and your role in our church?
So most Sundays I'm here. I try to give guidance. Most of the confirmands and youth would say it's pretty good. Hopefully it's good. But then usually Wednesday nights, I also help set up. I help Tom and Andrea, and I'm usually on the welcome table. I harass kids to sign in and make a name tag. And I hope that I'm just like a big sister that they can lean on, and whenever they need to talk about life or anything, I'm there for them. So,
Tell me about we're here in this space, and you all are often on the other side of the building. Tell me some of what happens in that youth suite during the week.
Most days it's empty, but Wednesdays is when we get together. We usually have dinner beforehand, and that's when it's always crazy. People play ping pong. There's the pool table that people like to play in.
I think there's some basketball that happens during that time.
I'm not good at basketball, but people do that. And it's always just a fun time. We reminisce about the week, like just check in with each other, and then we usually read a passage or we'll talk about what's happening in the world. Just depends on the week.
Yeah, wonderful. And I wonder if you would call that a space that any of these folks could show up on Wednesday night and feel welcomed.
Oh, totally. I hope it's a space where anybody can feel welcome, whether they're 80 or 10.
Awesome. As a dad who brought a 10-year-old once, he felt very welcome, very welcome. Finally, just a little bit about the next chapter of your life. I know there are some of us who have our own plans for where we hope God will lead you in the years ahead, maybe places like this one. Tell us a bit about what's next for you immediately and where you see God leading you in the future.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm going to Miami of Ohio next year, and I'm going to study creative writing there. And I want to either become an editor at a big book company or just start there and then maybe do my own writing. But even though you want me to become a pastor, I don't know. That might happen. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So yeah.
Well, we Presbyterians can always say, if God intends it, it will happen. We believe that to be true. Maddie, I'm so grateful for what you mean to this church, not only to our youth, but the ways in which you give of yourself to serve your congregation and set such a wonderful example of faithfulness for all of the rest of us. And we will be watching and listening for your stories as you head off to Miami of Ohio next year, and hope you always know that your home is here at Second Church. Thank you for your time this morning.